When I was in Peoria, and remember I told you about Ben Alexander, the chemist, is what I told you. Ben Alexander was a chemist, right? And we all, and Dr. Smith, we all lived at his house. Ben had saved his money during the Army and all that, and he was real a saver. And so, and not only that, he had bought this house. He'd been married and had had a divorce, right? And so he had this big house, and so we lived in it as well. We rented from him. Well, Ben came home one day and said, "Look, Vivian," says, "you ought to join us in this group that we have that's going to integrate downtown." And it's just my stuff, right? So I said, "Fine." And he says, "We're doing it with nonviolence." And I said, "That's even better." See, all this is follow-up from grade school. Get my point? Mm-hmm. Is that, so everything is working when there's this group at a church, a white church in Peoria, of which Ben was a part, right, that was putting this group of students, largely students from Bradley University, and a couple of the people, Bradley's in Peoria, right, and to use the program that CORE had used in Chicago about 3 or 4 years before, right? This is 1947, right? So 45, 47. And so we move. I hate myself saying "anda." I don't say "anda," but I've been saying it all afternoon. We create this group, of which they had already created a group. I became part of it, right? And we used the ideas and the methods that had been used by CORE. And we started at the restaurant. There's a central restaurant that was very important called the Varsity, right? And we wanted to open that restaurant. Pretty certain it's called the Varsity. We wanted to open that restaurant. And so we kept going in using the methods. And for instance, white kids would go in, and often white members of the church. We'd come demonstrating, and they would invite us to their tables after we were made to stand around, or they refused us, and etc. Right? See, because it was against the law for them to refuse us in Illinois, right? Not in Mississippi, but in Illinois. So, but they would invite us over their table. If the manager said anything, well, these are nice people. We just want to discuss with them. We want to talk with them, anything, right? Mm. Well, he'd have to throw everybody out. Get the point? So there may be 3 or 4 couples in there like that, right? And he doesn't know what's happening and how they got there and why they're inviting, see, and he didn't know what to do, right? Well, the law's in our favor anyway. I suppose one of them may have even thought, one of the managers may have even thought, hey, this could get us in court, right? But whatever is that we won the case. Mm-hmm. And as a result, we opened up all the restaurants because we ended up negotiating with the Restaurant Association. And when the restaurants went, so did all the lunch counters, right? And then all the eating places, right? So we opened that city up 9 years before Montgomery.